and the scale. I noticed that all the pro riders don't have brakes, so maybe when you take your brakes off, you'll go pro. This, I'm gonna go over in another video. If I told you it took me over an hour to set up this intro, would you believe it? Yeah, me neither. I have no idea how the girls on YouTube that do all the makeup tutorials end up doing this every day or every week. It's crazy. Anyhow, what's happening, broskies and brochachas? I heard there's some out there. Today's Thursday, so on this channel, we go over a tutorial, something technical, a how-to, or I answer some of you guys' questions. Today is gonna be kind of a short day in my schedule because I had a long day in my real life. So I'm gonna go over some of the questions that you guys have been bombarding me on my channel as of late. But before we do that, I wanna give you guys a little tour of what I've got going on in here, which is my brother, Mancobra's former room. I've turned it into kind of like an office, guest bedroom, gamer room, green screen attempt, somewhere I just wanna make some content out of. I'll give you guys a tour first, then I wanna go over some of the things you guys have been asking in the comments. So before we do that, cue the intro. Much better. So let's go through a little room tour. Number one, my backpack. In this backpack, we have all my equipment that I usually keep: headphones, drone, extra lenses, batteries, all that good stuff. You always gotta fluff. Over here, we have podcast equipment and a printer. So this needs to be set up on that table over yonder. It'll happen, just not today. Headphones and the mic for said podcast. Followed by the usual microphone that I use on this setup. Right now, I'm using this Rode wireless mic setup. We got your run-of-the-mill full-size bed where Mancobra used to lay his head. And then this is his art rendition of a Carnival cruise that we went to 2 years ago. Some of his memorabilia. This is literally Mancobra's spirit animal. It is a green screen. So we'll see how it turned out in the video. It was a pain in the butt setup. This is a light ring so that you get the shadows out for the green screen. This has its own tripod for the camera that goes there. The light stand goes right in front. This is my old signature bike. I've done a cool video on it. This is my collector's Dave Mira bike. This I'm gonna go over in another video. I know you guys are gonna all ask about it. Let me put it in the light and show you guys real quickly, and then I'll tell you guys a story in another video. But essentially this used to be my laptop. Barely shuts anymore, but it's a cool memorabilia. It looks artistic, doesn't it? This is a rifle from, I think it's like 1940s, 50s. We'll have to ask Mancobra. Some trophies back there. And this is a cool piece I got from Scott Marceau of Regis Philbin and Tyrone Williams riding down a hallway in New York. The moment of truth, what you guys have been waiting for. Let me actually get the light on this way. Not down, up, boom. All right, so let me get this on a tripod and then we'll go over this bike and the scale. First and foremost, the number one question people ask me, why do you ride brakes? And I'll tell you a funny story. So once when I was at a skate park, this kid came up to me and was like, hey man, you're pretty good, but I was wondering when you might consider going pro. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I noticed that all the pro riders don't have brakes. So maybe when you take your brakes off, you'll go pro. Maybe I should have listened to that kid. I've actually tried going brakeless quite a few times and it's super fun and very challenging. I just have always preferred the way a bike looks and feels with brakes. There's something about the technical aspect of getting it to all work properly and to have the ability to change certain tricks. A lot of you guys might not know this, but when you do a tail whip, if you actually tap your brakes and make your wheel stop, it actually spins around easier, your pedals don't shift around. And I enjoy doing foo-foo-noos, hurricanes, wall taps, different tricks with brakes. And the number one reason why I got into brakes, because of my favorite riders back in the day, Dave Mira and Van Homan. Dave killed all terrains. I mean, Van Homan kills it on everything as well. His street parts were always amazing, and to this day. And he always had a gyro, and I thought it would just look cool. So this is my way of paying homage to them. And somewhere in there, you could sprinkle in the fact that it just makes me look different than every other pro bike rider out there. Number two, what size top tube do I ride, and what size top tube should you ride? I'm 5'9" on a good day, and I ride a 20.75. Sometimes it falls somewhere in there, whether it's a 20.6 or 20.7. The reason for that is, let me show you with my phone actually. There's an app called Measure, and we all have it on our iPhones, and I'm sure Androids have some version, but it'll allow you to measure your bike. You have to calibrate it by spinning it around the room, and then you put the tab on, let's say, right at the middle of the seat post, and then all the way to the middle of the head tube. This is pretty close to accurate. It's saying it's a 20.5, not quite a 21, and it's not quite a 27.5, just because this probably doesn't go into those tiny increments because it's basically just ballparking it, but it'll give you a good idea. A lot of you guys might not have even known. This is your top tube, and it goes from the center of the seat post to the center of the head tube. That is a traditional way to measure. For my size, I prefer that. But I know some pros that are 6'2", 6'3", and ride a 20.5 or even smaller, And I know some really short guys that are like 5'1", and they'll ride a 21. It's all personal preference. The concept is that your knees are supposed to go in this area between your bars and your seat. But again, some people that are really tall might not sit down, so they don't really need that added clearance. The number 3 question, and this is pretty even with why I ride brakes and what size top tube, how much does my bike weigh? So for those of you guys at home, you can pick up one of these little scales at Target, Walmart, hardware store, virtually almost anywhere. Yeah, I think even grocery stores have them. They're pretty cool. They're not too perfectly accurate, but it'll give you a good ballpark. If you've never used one of these before, all you have to do is turn them on, and then you have to tare them, which means you have to zero it out. So make sure nothing is on the actual scale. It comes with like a little cable or cord. So make sure nothing's pulling on it, you zero it out so that we agree that it's 0 weight on it. Now you take it over here to your top tube, wrap it around, and then you lift it off the bike stand that I have here. And my bike weighs 24 pounds. Nope, it's still dangling. 25.3 pounds. Most complete or entry-level BMX bikes come in anywhere from 25 through 28 pounds. As your budget increases and so do your skills, people like to lighten things up. But then there comes a point where it might get too light or you're spending too much money. So you have to find the sweet spot that fits your riding, your budget, and your needs. This bike has 4 pegs, hub guards, pretty tall seat posts, tall and wide bars, a guard sprocket, a hefty chain, and a full gyro setup. So brakes and the gyro. So I consider it fully loaded. The only thing it's really missing are front brakes. Now what I've done to lighten it up a bit, I've added folding or super slim tires, light plastic pedals. I cut the excess off of my seat posts, and I'm riding plastic pegs. Now this bike to me feels perfectly comfortable. So what does that mean? Well, essentially I can whip it around, like literally do tail whips and different tricks that require a little bit of muscle, and it feels very responsive, but not too light and twitchy. For you guys at home, it all really depends on the type of riding you're doing. If you're riding ramps or trails, pools, skate parks, whatnot. But if you're a smaller dude, you might want to consider lighting up your bike. And quick ways of doing that, number 1, you can watch my how to shave weight off your bike video. But if not, I can also give you the synopsis. One of the best ways to save weight are your tires and or your wheels. So try getting some lighter tires. Folding or featherweights or anything that have the lightweight version are good. They'll save you weight, and it'll actually even feel like more weight because it's rotational. So that means that when you get up in the air and this is spinning around, it feels like it's not dragging you down as hard. After tires, you might want to consider getting some different wheels. If you have a stock bike, chances are that your rims are going to be pretty heavy, so you want to lighten them up. I ride the Shadow Symbol wheels. They're pretty light, but also very strong. And I prefer that. I want something that's in the middle. I don't want too light because then you'll bend it too easily. I don't want something that's too heavy because then you feel like a sack of potatoes after you're done riding. The next thing you can line up is your drivetrain. So that means that you can change your cranks, your sprocket, and or your chain. But again, it all depends on your type of riding. I like to grind a lot. I like to do sprocket stalls, and I don't want to break my chain. So I have a heftier chain. I have some really tough cranks, the Shadow Killer cranks. And then I have the Simone guard sprocket, all metal, so that I can do sprocket grinds and stalls and not worry about not being able to get home. The next thing you might want to consider, probably the most expensive pieces, are your forks and your frame. A frame can range anywhere from $250 all the way to $420. Forks can go from $80 to $150. So you have to keep that in mind that you really want to save that weight and also that you have the right dimension. And the last things you can do are changing your handlebars, cutting your seat posts, getting a slimmer seat, getting titanium spokes in part, lighter pedals, no pegs, no brakes, no nothing. But then your bike's not fun. So I'm gonna cut this video right here because I think this is a good synopsis or condensed format of some of the more in-depth videos I have on my channel. And this will also open up the opportunity for you guys to ask me some more questions that are even more specific or targeted. So if there's something you don't know quite about, first, glance my channel, go into my tech videos or my how-to videos and just type in your question. You might find the answer. And if not, leave me a comment and we can discuss below. And if it's something that I think a lot of you guys will enjoy, I'll make a whole video about it. But this has been Tech Thursday with your boy Alfredo. Make sure to leave me a like, a comment, and share the video if you can. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. I'd appreciate it. All right, boys. See ya. Okay, this is the Sabrosa open frame with all Shadow Conspiracy parts. I got some Shadow Simone forks, Trey Jones killer cranks, Simone sprocket, Symbol front and rear wheel, and a bunch of other goodies. So what we're gonna go today and why they do what they do. There's a lot of lights on me. Hope you guys understand this.